Hello and welcome to the Comfortable Car Club. I'm Alexander. Now, for a car to be comfortable, it's not just about supple suspension and soft seats. It's also about the sound, or lack of it. There is little point in a car being as luxurious and welcoming as a very high-end brothel if there's horrible sounds the whole time that completely ruin the whole experience. And that's what happened to me. Not the brothel part, the car. This car is fantastic, it's very quiet, it's very nice, it's smooth, etc. But there was this incessant rattle coming from just over there when I went above 100 kilometers per hour, or 62 miles an hour, more or less. A recent video had me doing all sorts of things in and around the car, trying to find a way to stop that rattle. I'd sellotape things down, I'd screw things down, I'd went under the car, I added grease all over the place. And by the way, while I'm on the subject, thanks to everyone who suggested things that I look at to see if it was that caused the rattle. I read all your comments, I tried a lot of them. For example, I added some grease to the top of the mounts, the struts. But unfortunately that didn't work. I looked under the car, I checked all sorts of places, nothing worked. But then something happened. I think I might have a good clue on what's actually causing this, and it's all thanks to the Citroen C-Elysee. If you're watching this from the UK or Germany or even France or Norway or something like that, you've probably never heard of the Citroen C-Elysee, and that's because you buggers are rich. This was a car that was made for developing markets like Latin America, the Middle East, Africa, and of course, Southern Europe, where I am. This is Portugal. Here in Europe, it was manufactured in Vigo in Spain, not too far from where I am, and it proved to be very popular in both Spain and Portugal. And in fact, taxi drivers seem to be very frequent customers who buy a lot of Citroen C-Elysees. One place where it wasn't popular was France, where Citroen is actually from. But there you go, that's world markets for you. However, I know someone from France who bought one. My cousin, who's French and lives in France, hey, no one's perfect, but he bought a C-Elysee that was imported from Spain. And because of its rarity, parts are hard to come by there. It's got this subframe, which supposedly it shares with the first generation C3 and Peugeot 208s, but it's different enough to be bespoke. Now, he had a bit of a shunt and the subframe was broken, and also he had a problem with the clutch pump. You know, it's got like these two cylinders, pumps, whatever you call them, I don't know the technical term, and he had to replace both and the subframe. However, given the rarity of the C-Elysee in France, he waited until he came on holiday here to Portugal to try to find some replacement parts for his car, which was actually a good idea. I went with him to a scrapyard to rummage around to look for C-Elysee parts. Unfortunately, we didn't find parts for his car, but what I did find was a Citroen C5 X7 Tourer that had been involved in some sort of accident. Can't tell exactly from when it was. It's a later model than this because it had already the round chevrons instead of the more angular ones that this one has. But what it did have was a lack of a scuttle. The scuttle is that, you know, the part beneath the windscreen, and in the Citroen C5 X7 it's this plastic grille that goes from one side to the other. And I was able to peek inside, and what I saw was something that I always thought was the case. There's a tube that feeds water to the washer nozzles, I don't know, maybe in the back, I'm not sure, that goes along the bodywork, the bulkhead. And I've always thought that the sound, the rattle that this makes, is just like the rattle that the tube makes if you slap it up against the bonnet. So it's thanks to the C-Elysee that I was able to find out about what goes on beneath the scuttle on my C5. If it had sold well in France, my cousin wouldn't have been obliged to come into Portugal to look for parts. I wouldn't have gone with him to the scrapyard. I wouldn't have gazed inside the scuttle of that crashed C5. So hooray for the C-Elysee and its poor sales in France. Now, I honestly think that if I can remove this bit of the scuttle somewhat, and rummage around inside, I can probably do something about that pipe, because I think it's that pipe that's causing the issue. Of course, if it isn't, it's just another one of the comedy of errors that has this, that has characterized this task ever since I began it a very long time ago. But that's not a task for today, it's for tomorrow, because it's 11 o'clock at night and I have things to do, like going to bed.
The next day.
So it's the next day, and here I am with the car. Now, one thing that I noticed when I looked inside the crashed C5 at the junkyard, it had tethering points, that pipe I should say. It was tethered to the bulkhead, a lot like this. See, that plastic bit. So the plastic ring is around the pipe, and the pipe is attached to like a tab that goes into the bonnet. So there's something like that in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take all of this sticky tape off, because that was an attempt to stop rattling that didn't work, and see if I can remove that enough for me to slip my hand inside and feel if that pipe is not tethered to the bodywork. So I've done my best, and it's not good. It's rather rubbish actually. But anyway, sod it. I'm going to leave it there. I've got work to do. This is a stupid thing to do. I've got no idea how to title this video. How to do a stupid thing and it not work. Because my hands are all, at least my right hand, well my left as well, is in tatters. It's full of pits and marks and things like that from sticking my hand between two very tight pieces of plastic and metal. Ouch. Is that visible? Probably not. But yeah, I'm just going to give it a test. This would not be a proper test. Oh God, if I couldn't see if it was a rattle or not. No, still there, the rattle. My endeavours were completely useless. Trying to go in through the top was a dumb idea. I'm going to try to go in via the wheel arch lining. Remove these two screws and hope for the best. It was the wheel arch liner all along, and I fixed it accidentally. See, contrary to what I just said in the video, I ended up trying to, go into the cavity that's there via the wheel arch liner. I removed a bit of the wheel arch and then I just gave up. I thought, I can't go all the way through with this. I'm going to muff it and I'm going to end up with a wheel arch liner that's hanging off and I won't be able to put it back. Love takes to the mechanic, blah, blah, blah. So I re-screwed everything into place. I'm in the Algarve now. Lovely sunny weather. It's very hot in here. I'm getting very sweaty. And I did 550 kilometers. Not a peep from over there. Not a sound. The entire journey was nice and silent, just the usual wind noise and tyre roar, that sort of thing. So I ended up fixing it accidentally. At least it's fixed, I suppose. That's how good I am. Now, you've seen in this video, in the previous video, that I try to blame it on all sorts of things, from the pipe that carries water to the washer nozzles to, I don't know, bits of trim. And the whole time it was the wheel arch liner. Someone in the comments said it was the wheel arch liner. If you're watching this and you said it, give yourself a proper pat on the back. And of course, feel free to mock me mercilessly in the comments below. I deserve it. My God. If I was like Dr. House and my diagnosis saved people, I'd kill so many patients I'd be in jail for life. I would, because I really suck at diagnosing these things. So, if you made it this far, thanks very much for watching. So I've basically wasted your time in this video when I told you about the C-Elysee and how it helped me diagnose the problem. It didn't. Well, but then again, if it hadn't had that problem, I wouldn't have gone to the junkyard. I wouldn't have looked at the pipe. I wouldn't have tried to go in through the top and then through the wheel arch liner. So maybe the C-Elysee was responsible for helping me fix this issue. I prefer to think so. tell me what your thoughts in the comments below. I mean, you can mock me all you like. I deserve it. I deserve to be made fun of. But, you know, I suppose that's part of the appeal of the video. Hopefully. Again, not many people watch it, so but for those who do watch it, I'm very grateful for the views. I really am. And for everyone who likes and subscribes and shares and all of that stuff. So we'll leave it there. Thanks very much for watching. Like, subscribe and share. Click all of that stuff that's on screen now. So either subscribe or go to the merch store or watch more videos. I've been Alexander. I bid you all farewell. Thanks very much for watching.